Hey everybody, it's Crypto Steve. I'm coming to you today to do a quick follow-up on the Townstar weekly event that's going on. And I recently did an intro guide to Torum if you want to check that out. It's a new social site that you can share stuff on, but you actually get rewarded for engaging with people. So if you want to check out the guide, it's pretty cool. I'll give you a quick little look here. See, I've already claimed 3 tokens, and it's for like creating a post, commenting on posts, liking on posts, for getting followers, for connecting every day. So it's a site that rewards you for doing that. It's an Ethereum based token, and it's got over 10,000 users, which is pretty good for a crypto social site. So it's worth checking out. But let's go ahead and get to Townstar. So as we know, they are currently doing. Let's go here. Well, this is the next game that's coming out for them, but they're giving out the $1,000 in weekly ETH rewards next week. For the last week of the contest, they're actually going to give away $2,000. I just want to say thank you to the people that have been checking the game out. I know a game like this where you just build a town and it's kind of a Sim City-ish Farmville crypto, not really involved in the game, even though there are some things you can do in the game that are crypto based. You can actually just buy a bot that just mines you a certain crypto in the Gala universe, which is kind of interesting. But you guys have pushed me up to where I should get my next fountain pretty soon. I'm not sure. I have to figure out how I get this because I have enough people to get this one now. The good. And if, I don't know if I'd ever get 100 referrals. Even 50 seems daunting, but I'm glad that you guys helped me get to 10. I think this thing takes a little while to update. It might not update until the current contest ends, and then maybe it'll update, hopefully, but we'll see what happens. But I also wanted to show you that we are still getting our rewards. It does take Ethereum to claim them. If you sign up and play, you do get 100 Gala tokens. Not worth very much, not worth claiming on its own. But if you start playing the game next week, and then you just place in the top 100, which is doable, and I'll show you that shortly, you'll get 2 of these items that you can sell on the ETH marketplaces. But that's only really willing if you're willing to put a little bit of Ethereum into this wallet so that you can claim your things. See, I got to pay 0.0069 ETH to claim them. I'm going to wait till all 4 weeks are over, and then I'm going to come in and do one big claim. So just to show you, this is wrong. This is, I don't know, a little bug they have. It always shows me at 0, and then I go into here, and now it shows my real balance that I've won from playing the game. So I have 8,000. Sorry, I didn't even click out of that. They also take the Brave token. Then you also get an Ethereum address when you join. The Bitcoin is here, but they're going to take that out. They don't want to take Bitcoin anymore for payments. And they are working on getting off of Ethereum. I don't know, maybe... I have no idea. They haven't said where they're going yet. If you know, let me know. I haven't seen anything like that. But they are, well, very aware that those transaction fees are not good for games. And with their new game coming out, the one that they have coming out soon, Mirandus, which is going to be a MMO, they're going to be looking to have everything in the game, all the items, all the armors, all the towns. As you can see, they're selling out. Finally, they're starting to sell their land, which is really good to see. All of this stuff is going to be NFTs and be tradable back and forth. And so you might have people who want to buy literally like pieces of wood to help craft a shield or something on a marketplace. And no one's going to be wanting to pay $6 in ETH fees because the chain is backed up, or maybe even $40 or $50. And that'll totally ruin that marketplace. So this place is going a lot of places. I think Gala Games makes good quality games. I think while it's a very simplistic game, the graphics look really good. They obviously know how to get real people who program real games that work. It's not browser based. It's an actual game that you can play, and you can play it on your cell phone. It works really well. They also have a partnership with Splinterlands, which was one of the more popular game, so now you can use the Gala tokens that you win for playing the game in the Splinterlands shop. So that's pretty cool to see them spreading out their token and giving it more use case. Now we're going to get to a quick look at my town for the week. So as you know, I told you in the last video, I got this legendary BitTrue wheat stand because I made a donation during a live stream to Stand Up to Cancer, and I didn't realize how valuable of an item it was. I just knew it would be kind of helpful, and it is helpful. I have 44 flour sitting here, and I only have 2 wheats. Now, how's that happen? Well, this supplies 5 to all of these buildings, and then 4 wheat to these buildings. And it's almost more flour than I can handle. I have to admit, this very last day, I had some family come into town. I've been busy. I haven't been playing super actively for about the last 20 hours. And so because of that, I got stuck here at 1.9. I'm probably going to cap out at about 2 million points. With my current setup, I probably could have gotten to 2.4 million if I had stayed with this, which would have been my highest score ever. Unfortunately, the top players must have items, multiple of these items, because you can have a wheat, one that gives all your stuff wheat, one that gives all your stuff sugar, one that gives all your stuff salt. You can get these special items, and so see, you've got people getting 6 million. And so even with a super item, I was only able to net maybe 2.4 to maybe a maximum of 3 million points. And that wouldn't have even got me in the top 10. So it's really, really competitive to win Bitcoin. But I am still in a decent place at 21st. I had made it up here. I was competing for 17th. That's why I said I'd probably be right here around 2.3 million, because I was beating all of these people and I was catching up to Angry Town. And I just was like, you know what? I'm not going to make top 10. I have other things to do. I'll still get my rare piece. I'll still get my common piece. And then next week I can go back to doing what I think is a better build. And I'll talk about that when I look at my town. So this town, here's the thing. The cake town is just not a good town for you to build if you're somebody that isn't going to want to pay attention to the game 24/7. Because here's the fact. It's really, really hard to balance your sugar production, your salt production, your trees, making enough butter, getting enough milk, getting all the different things that you need to make cakes. I mean, my town, I've had some people make some pretty detailed posts about maybe you can make 10 cakes in a day, and I can make like 40 cakes in a day. But I end up making too much flour, or I end up making too much salt. Like right now I have way too much salt brine in my thing. I end up starting to make too many eggs when I have 2 egg things running. When I only have 1, I don't make enough eggs. So there's just a lot of balancing to go here, and somebody could probably map this out perfectly and do it better than me, but this town is actually built pretty good. So I've got all of my windmills kind of focused over into this quadrant. I'm growing my trees over here. I actually purposely grew the trees over here so that they could bring it into the windmills without always being closest to the animals. But I did leave some trees over in this corner that grow slow, and a few trees right in here that they can take over to the animals. There's a balance here. Getting trees from here over to there takes some work. I have to have enough going. I kind of go back and forth with this plot here being a sugar cane until sugar builds up a little bit, and then I remove it and I switch it back to a tree. This is why I say that balancing the sugar production is hard, because you need a lot of sugar to build cakes. And I do think that if you want to be a cake maker, it would be more important to have a sugar farm than to have one of these sugar stands than it would be to have a wheat stand, because wheat can grow with a lot less water needed, which would mean that I could have my farm go out a little further and still be growing wheat pretty fast. Whereas with sugar, it needs 8 water. So like this spot right here, it can only have 6. And it's like I could throw a wheat there, but there's no real point. I don't need the wheat. These 2 feed me more than I need. And so it's like you can sneak wheat into spots because it only needs 3 water. You could plop it in little areas, and even if it's growing slow like this one, it'll still help you. Whereas sugar, you have to have sugar surrounded in water. So I have water here, I have a big lake here, I have water here. I had to build one here and here just so I could put sugar into this row here and build trees. So you need a lot of water tiles in order to be able to build all your sugar, or you'd have to put all your sugar in your prime area where you need to have trees. So growing sugar and trees can be tough, and you need a lot of trees and a lot of sugar if you're producing sugar in your factories. Whereas if you had a sugar producer, you could produce the sugar without having to grow it. And then that would give you a huge advantage. Like, could you imagine if I only had to have one or two sugars sitting here? Then all of these could be trees, and then I could have wheat up in here, and maybe I'd have a few less buildings, because I honestly feel like I probably have a little bit too much buildings. I did a pretty good job over here in my little one gas grower, which is making plenty of gas for me to keep going with minimal buildings. I put my 4 cakeries over here. I've got them going, making batter, and 3 making batters and 1 making cake. I leave that until the flour goes down. I'm having a tough time getting the flour to go down today. They're just, I don't know, they're just not going fast enough, or something happened, and I reached a good balance finally where I'm keeping everything building. But it's tough. But you see the general idea. We'll zoom in here a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. So cows need 3 water. So two water side by side can do 4 cows. The nice thing about this is it gives 5 to the first one, 4 to the second one, 3, 2, and it would even provide 1 wheat to this one over here, even though this one's making sugar. So it can provide wheat to at least 1 wheat to these, and so these just auto-produce feed. So I'm feeding 7 cows at a high clip with only 4 workers and 4 of these things that are auto-creating food. So, actually, I might only have 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I only have 3 ATVs. So just 3 ATVs with these food makers is able to keep the 7 cows working very, very fast. So I'm able to make a lot of milk, which is allowing me to make a lot of butter, which is allowing me to make a lot of batter. Really, the lag is the sugar in my farm. And so if you have a good idea as to how I could be doing sugar better here, the problem is if I switch sugar down into this area, my tree farms become too poor. Now I could delete this. I could put another water here, which would let me put a tree here, but then it's right next to my building, so it's going to grow really slow, like these ones over here that are near the salt water. So it's kind of a give and take of trying to figure out how to balance all this stuff out. I do think one thing I could have done a little bit better is put the salt production here in this corner and put buildings in this corner, and then maybe that would have made it so that I wouldn't have a little bit of salt here and a little bit of salt here. So that's one area where I feel like I thought this would be enough salt, and then just wasn't making enough salt. So I was able to delete some buildings, put some more windmills in place. As you might notice, I cannot make lumber right now because I had one here, but I deleted it for one more windmill. And it's just an interesting setup. I just kind of wanted to show you the end setup, the production that you're able to do, and let you know, like, if you want to get into this game and you want to be one of the best players, you're gonna have to invest in these stands that help you auto produce something. Obviously, if you're a little better than me, if you planned out your town a little bit better than me, because I imagine there are some people who are detailed enough to know exactly how many wood grabbers to grow, how many sugar plots to grow, how many farmers to have to make everything optimized. And I'm just playing the game. I'm not really getting to that level at this point because I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun with it. I've had some people who've commented on my posts, and they're able to calculate the math and do everything and do all the work. But I'm playing a game. I just want to have a little fun. I want to see where my town can go. I want to see how high on the leaderboard I can get. I am glad I have this item. I don't know if I'm going to want to invest the amount of money. I've now seen these things are worth around an Ethereum to 3 Ethereum, and I imagine the sugar one is worth more. So I don't know if I'm going to want to invest that much into the game because this is a contest that you have to be pretty dedicated. You have to keep your town running 24/7 for 5 days. You have to keep your town moving away. And I understand why they're doing that. I really hope when they take this game out of beta and now that they're starting to advertise it that they change their mind on that. I feel like the game should be able to run a little more passively. I should be able to check it on my phone every once in a while and sell my items and keep my town going. Have it set to give me some notifications. Have it set to for me to just cuz I don't really feel like your ability to have a computer that can be on 24/7 should really play into whether or not you can compete in the game. They already have a pay to win built in, but now they also have somebody who has to be wealthy enough to have a really good computer that can be on all the time and can leave the game running because you can't even put this minimized or the game stops. You can't even put it on a second tab or the game stops. And I'm still a fan of Gala games. I still think that they're going to go a lot of places. I still think they've built a good site. They have a good plan. They have a good way for you to have one token that you can spend on multiple games, that you can earn in multiple games. And I really think the first MMO to come out that's able to grab that MMO crowd and let you own all of your items and have a real world marketplace where these people are going to be able to legally grind out the game and play it and earn money playing it. And you might find a legendary item that you might be able to sell within the game that might help you buy a car or something even more. Who knows? So they're heading down a path that I really think will lead them to great places. I'm just not positive that they've made the game accessible enough for your more normal game players. And I don't I and see if it wasn't for the fact that you already had to invest a lot of time getting these special fountains or buying these special stands that they have or getting the robots, see, because here's my stand, or having the truck, or doing, having the crane bot. So there's all these things that you have to spend money on to truly compete. So why not the game let it be more enjoyable for people that just get into it casually and want to try it out, and let these towns run kind of minimized, or let them run offline? Because I should be able to step away from my town right now and come back in an hour when these cakes are up. But if I hit this minimize button and come back in an hour, I'm still going to be sitting at 2 cakes. I'm not going to make any more. And I don't understand why they do that. So I'll go ahead and end it there. I know I haven't brought this kind of stuff up, but I've been playing a lot over the last 3 weeks, and I'm like, this game isn't quite fun enough to have to babysit it as much as you do. And if you disagree with me on that, let me know. But for me, that's just the truth. But one thing I'll show everyone really quick, if you hung out till the end, if you go look at the bottom 10, they're paying out up to 1,000 people at least a common piece of that bot. That is going to be, they're worth about $4 or $5. I've looked them up. The more expensive rare pieces are worth anywhere from 15 to 20 bucks. The problem is when you're spending $4 or $5 to claim them, one common by itself wouldn't be worth much. But if you earned a couple, and I mean, look, these people, I don't know if they're even going to get their item, but you're under the top 1,000, and these people literally logged in and they got 10 points because you start with 10 wheat, and if you sell them immediately you get 10 points, and that's all they did. So let's see when we finally get out of this. And this is one of the reasons why I really think they have to reimagine the idea of you having to be so hardcore into the game, because a real score for somebody who played this over a week, even kind of casually, would be like at least 40,000-50,000 points. So these people all sold like a few items and just got bored, and they need to be able to make it so that you can check in and you can play and you can see that you're gonna maybe win a prize, but you don't start to get to real players until you get up here. Let's see if even in the top 100, who's 100? So yeah, 185,000. So you see, you just have to play the game. And I guarantee you, these people don't have anything special. When I've played the game without having anything special and played it for a whole week, I've gotten 500 to 600,000 points. I even got 800,000 once. So next week I'm going to go back to blue steel for the last week because of my point of saying that my town was really hard to manage is I do think that a blue steel town would be better. And I actually got one of the few spots on the map that have fresh water and salt. This does create a kind of unique problem that I didn't really realize is it hurts this corner. These prime water plots are just ruined. These two and these two. And so if you had fresh and fresh water, this area would grow trees and sugar all by itself just because of all the water that's right here. And instead, I should have been growing salt over here and then having buildings over here. And then if I wanted to extend my farm, instead of I should have started the farm right about like here-ish like I did, but it should have protruded out to say here. So these buildings should be up here, and you know, maybe it wouldn't go quite up here, but it'd probably go about up to here. So I'd have a little bit more, or like another water built here, and then I'd have like a few more sugars and trees, and my wheat would be pushed up into here, and this stuff would be built into over here, and then this road might be designed a little better because I just did this because I realized I did not need that much salt, and so I just built some windmills in here. Realistically, I should probably put one more windmill right here. I just haven't done it because I can't make the top 10, and if I don't get a different prize from being placed 20 to 90 or 99 or 100, then I'm going to chill for this week, and I'm going to make a push next week to see if with a blue steel place I can maybe get to a point where I can get like 3 million points, and then maybe I can compete for the top 10. Let's go see. What would if I needed to get to the top 10? 4.5 million points. I'll give it a shot. I'm going to give it a shot next week. We'll see what happens. This is already 20 minutes, so I doubt any of you have made it this far. But, you know, hopefully you think about trying out Gala games, getting involved with it just so you can get ready for what's coming. If you get into it now and you bring some friends, you can still get some of these fountains from referring people. You can still get some of these items next week for free. You can still... they're doing a special event at the end of the month on the 31st where somebody's going to win one of these bots. So that's pretty cool. And then they're also going to do a lot more promotions as their new game comes out. So it's worth taking a look at if you're in the crypto space and you're into the crypto D apps. Thanks everybody. I'm going to end it here. Take care and have a happy holidays. Bye.